A Gay and a Non-Gay is a podcast from James Barr and Dan Hudson. They're like a lovely little couple, except they're not.
I'm so tired and hungover.
Why? What's been going on?
Why are we here? I just stayed up late drinking wine. For no reason.
Okay. Should be a good podcast.
Welcome to A Gay and a Non-Gay.
Dan had a massive strop recently in H&M.
I didn't really.
He did. This is the first and only time we've ever been shopping together. It was before our London Live appearance when we were being interviewed about our podcast award nomination.
Yeah.
Sassy girl emoji. And Dan was wearing, they'd said like don't wear branded tops, and Dan was wearing a top that had what on it?
Well, it was like no political statements.
Yeah, and you had something, very political on it. So I marched Dan to H&M to buy him a new plain basic normcore top, and he had a massive meltdown.
I didn't.
He had a huge meltdown. Dan was really angry because he saw a Metallica t-shirt for sale in H&M. And what was the other band?
I think there was also Motorhead and Iron Maiden, probably.
Right, so why does it...
Guns N' Roses as well, I think.
Why does that annoy you?
Well, like, firstly, I don't believe that anybody who's, like, really into those bands are the people that are buying those t-shirts.
But it's fashion.
So if you're wearing a Metallica t-shirt and you don't know anything about Metallica, you're walking around in a state of extreme high risk because somebody is going to say to you at some point, oh, what's your favourite Metallica song? Or I love Metallica too.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would. They 100% would. Because it's happened to me before when I've been wearing like t-shirts of bands that I don't necessarily love, but like I want to support that band, so I'm wearing their t-shirt, and I've been caught out by people who love the band and I've had to say, oh, sorry, like I got, I do like this band, but I'm not like blah blah blah. I'm not like an expert on X band.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they totally would. Totally, 100%.
Okay, I'm going to wear a Metallica t-shirt as an experiment. I bet no one will come up to me. No one in Soho is going to come up to me and go, oh, you like Metallica? What's your favourite song?
I think they will.
No, they won't.
Well, it's a bigger point. It's like, I don't want to get into this discussion really again, but it's an appropriation of a no, but it is though. That is what it is of a subculture that is most of the time is completely rejected by the mainstream,
okay,
which H&M is in the middle of.
Right. So what you're saying that they're appropriating.
It's not funny.
It's really funny, Dan. I find it so funny. We had a massive argument about this because we were both drunk, and it was so annoying. It's so funny how you're doing it again. You're taking it so serious. You're saying
it is serious.
It's a band. It doesn't matter.
It's not a band. It's a whole way of life.
Okay, so you're saying it's the same as me.
No, but it's not. I'm not saying it's the same as that, as what you're obviously about to say.
No, I mean, you don't know what I was about to say, and I should say it. Thank you.
Okay, go on.
You're saying it's the same as me appropriating, for example, black culture through phrases that have come from RuPaul's Drag Race, which is a show that is massively appropriating black culture. You're putting in the same thing as that.
Well, I haven't seen that program, so
there's a lot of gay people that would say that show appropriates black culture.
Okay.
And you could also argue that lots of brands appropriate gay culture, like Nando's in Soho has a rainbow logo.
Well, yeah.
But isn't that just supporting gay culture?
I don't know.
And that's what you're saying is the same as commercial brands appropriating bands?
It's a fine line. For example, when someone big dies, I'm always on edge because some of the stuff that some brands post is so awful, and they have no idea, and they're using people's deaths to sell their own products.
Well, indirectly, but they're really using people's deaths to connect with the public so that you connect with their brand.
Well, some are just flat out exploitative. And, okay, so before we go down this road again, obviously it's not up there with the struggles of any oppressed, minority in the world, but in the UK, like rock music and fans of rock music are treated like they don't exist. 100%. 100%. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Why do you have such a thing about this?
Because it's true.
But calm down. You're getting so shouty. You don't see me getting as angry as this about gay rights. I don't get as angry as this.
But this is
and
what,
I have a reason to be angry.
It's not comparable to that.
Stop hitting your pen at me.
Because it's not. I'm just saying it. Obviously, it's not comparable to that. Obviously, but it's still annoying.
Okay.
You don't.
Dan wants you to know that it's annoying. That his culture has been appropriated and that
Yeah, it is annoying.
That he's not accepted. That rock music is not accepted.
It's not. It took 40 years of Glastonbury before they put any metal band on the lineup. You never see rock bands nominated for the Mercury Music Prize. You never see them on Jules Holland. Every other genre and subgenre of music is represented in the mainstream apart from metal.
It's very loud, Dan. It's not liked as much, Dan.
That's bollocks. That's complete
That's
bollocks.
not.
It's one of the biggest music in the world. In Spotify, it's the most popular genre of music. So that argument is bollocks.
Why is it never on top hits?
What's that?
Why is it never like top 20 in the chart, top 40 in the chart, rock music?
In the album chart, all the time. Lamb of God went to number 8. Five Finger Death Punch went to number 7. You never hear about it because this is exactly my point. The mainstream don't report it. Metal fans are the most loyal by a country mile.
By what?
A country mile. They're the most loyal fans.
I thought you swore.
The way that people talk about rock music in a derogatory way, you would never get away with talking about any other genre of music. If you walk into a room and say, this isn't funny, this isn't funny.
Carry on.
If you're in an office and people say, what kind of music you like? And you go, oh, metal. The response will be, someone will do the devil horns, or be like, oh, metal, or like, oh, is that the screaming music? Or any number of those responses. Or they'll say something like, oh, do you listen to Linkin Park? I used to listen to them when I was 13. Now I've grown out of them.
In a record store?
No, if in a normal office in Carlisle. That's the conversations that happen.
I just think it's ridiculous that you get so angry about this. Like, it's just music.
It's not just
It doesn't
music.
matter. It is. It's not. It's a life choice. It's not like it's not part of your blood or your.
What it is though.
It's just a T-shirt in H&M.
No. Okay, well, if I can finally get to my point,
Just a
that's
T-shirt.
how we're treated by the mainstream.
Please finally get to your point. Recently, you've been on one about it, and you've told me that people get killed because of it. You just did it again.
What?
People are victimized about it.
I did
That
say
you
I
feel
didn't
like you
want to talk
don't
about it.
belong because of it. So you have really gone in on that. You really want everyone to know you're a minority as well because you like rock music. Okay,
No, I
Dan,
don't.
I'm going to give.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
no, it's fine.
I
I'm going to
said
give
it-
you it. I'm giving it.
I said I didn't want to
It's
talk
cool.
about it.
No, it's yours. You're a minority. Welcome along.
Gay.
I've been wearing a jumper through this podcast today, so Dan hasn't seen my T-shirt yet, but I feel like now is an appropriate time to show you what's lurking underneath. Are you ready for the reveal? It's an Iron Maiden T-shirt. Woo! Party! Bring your daughter to the slaughter. Let her go. That's my favourite.
Well, I hope you don't get in a situation where somebody asks you. I went on a date with someone once who I think she wore a Doors T-shirt, and I think it was probably try to impress, but I was not impressed. Well, I was for a minute.
I
and
can
then
imagine.
Then I said, oh, something like, oh, I didn't know you into the Doors. I didn't, And she was like, no, I'm not.
Oh my God, that poor woman.
If you want more, subscribe at gaynongay.com or on iTunes or, whoever your favourite podcast supplier is. Kisses. Mwah.